victim, but here today, it looks like he just gets loose. He just barely gets the wall with the rear corner. They won't have to work as hard on this one as they did on the one yesterday, so that's the good news.
Yeah, there's really no good news about that. If anything, you know, the experience these kids are getting right now at this young age is unreal.
And, like, go back out and practice here in a minute.
Good luck the rest of the week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Stephen Wallace, guys.
And here's what I was referring to yesterday. The 24 car of Casey Mears spinning around and got him in the right side door. And they had to go to a backup car for Mears, and they had to fix the right side as they worked to the wheel. No, he's body slammed on the left by the 55, but I think the 55 might have gotten a bit of a bump from behind, that being the Gordon car.
The 55 car, Jerry, was in the center, and he got loose also. And as he got loose, he had to get out of throttle. He got a little bump and then came flying back across the track and got 24. It looks like this time Casey Mears was an innocent victim on this one.
What happened as you watch these cars coming off of turn 2, bottom of your screen.
Guys, classic example, this 10 car made it 3 right in the center of the track. Gianna Andretti got so close to the 47 car of John Wood that he lost his downforce. And that's a classic case of just losing downforce. They're running that tight together. It really kills a downforce. So Woods was the guy who lost out in this deal.
All right, here the cars come off turn 4. That's the miles per hour for Reed Sorensen. You see suddenly the car just goes sideways, and watch the speed just drop off. Ward Burton involved in the 27 car. Bobby Hamilton Jr. got nudged on. Now, how in the world do you see all the smoke plus the glare on the windshield? I don't know how Mike Wallace knew anything was happening in front of him.
I can tell you, just whoever watched Days of Thunder and all that smoke, that's what it looks like, guys. You're coming through that smoke and you're going, hey, is this guy going to slide to the top? He's going to go to the bottom. What's going to happen? And look, they were missing him everywhere just then. Everybody got lucky there. Mike did a heck of a great job getting out of that accident because, boy, it was right dead in front of him. As he goes in our turn 3, boy, he couldn't hold on. It just went down on. Must have run over a piece of debris, blew that tire out. And, you know, these cars have got interliners in all 4 tires, but at that angle, on that speed, when you lose that tire, man, even though you got an interliner, there's no control in that car. Those interliners are a place.
From Kenny Wallace's onboard camera, and again looking across toward turn 2. And Steve did a nice job of getting the brakes and getting the car halted before it got into some contact with the wall. One more angle. Look across the racetrack.
Tell you what, this almost reminds me of what we saw with Carl Edwards. Barely missed the wall in qualifying by about an inch.
These 2 cars, 38 and 42.
Oh, hard. That's a hard lick right there. Saw the whole car come off the ground, back wheels.
So contact from behind by the 25 car, and the 38 just abruptly spins right across the racetrack in front of Juan Pablo Montoya. Okay, let's watch and whoop, he was passing another car and got hit.
It looks like he got tagged by Kyle Krisloff in the 14 car. Tell you, on these restarts, it's a really tough deal. A lot of guys don't get up to speed. Some get going quicker than others.
Mike Wallace in the Geico Chevy apparently got into some fluid or something. Watch him on the inside and tried to stay down out of the fluid, turned the car down, and just around it came.
Jerry, it looks like he had a run on the 47 car of John Wood and got down low below the racetrack and just ran out of real estate. He got below the line and just ran out of room. And boy, I tell you, what do you do there?
Watch again, see if we can see what happened to Sam.
I tell you what, that is just what we've been talking about, losing your downforce. You drive in alongside of a car, and then airflow doesn't come down the side and get to the rear spoiler, you get loose. You know, Sam learned that earlier off at Exeter turn 2, and now he's paid the price again on the entry of turn 1.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with these guys driving these different race cars.
Left side of your screen, as there is contact right there in the 13 car of Souza goes around.
Pit road is closed. Stay out.
All right, you heard Brad Parrott tell his driver, you must stay on the racetrack. There again is the spin, the contact with the 13 car and the 27 of Jorge Getters. And Souza goes around. All right, let's show you why we are under caution. The 59, the matchlight charcoal car of Marcus Ambrose goes all the way around, does a nice job of getting it spun around. Adrian Fernandez missing in the 5 car. Ambrose does a double Joey Chitwood spin and still keeps the car in gear. We are setting up here. Here's what produced the yellow flag. Contact in the 25 car of Gilliland goes spinning around. Back with the finish at Mexico City in a moment. Montoya What a run today, by the way, for the 41 car of Pruitt, and there's contact. Montoya and Pruitt come together. Montoya, they spin around through the grass and dirt goes Montoya. Pruitt's car has yet to fire, and the caution is out.
Right now we're getting down to 4 laps to go, and he's pulling away from the 20 car. Denny Hamlin, got a spin in the back. Shane Huffman goes around, clips Mike Wallace just a little bit. Another caution flag is falling here.
Coming out of turn 4.
He just loses it off of turn 4, loses that grip. He was all by himself, and that's what they're concerned about. These tires are so hard. The track was so new. We predicted earlier where we're going to see a lot of caution flags. You know, I hope it stops, but that is the biggest problem. The car's just running and just losing grip.
Yeah, and I just saw that replay where he actually did not hit the safer barrier.
And that's where they got to be careful, Jerry. Oh, I just started to say, you got to really be worried about that.
Behind you, got 3 in the wall.
And
Come on, get on, good.
The cars are flying down pit road right now. The 41 car to 66 of Stephen Wallace. They can get racing again because they're sliding around. Look at Ambrose. Got that rear end kicked out all the way around. Jerry, when you get in that position, man, you just cannot catch it. That thing's gone.
he spins the car. You see the roof flaps come up, Rusty, and it's like he nails the throttle. Watch the smoke come off the tires, and what a job. It's sort of...
Well, Marcus did a great job holding onto that car right there. Generally, you don't ever spin off a turn 4 and not hit anything, but he didn't touch nothing.
It's turn 4.
You see Brad Coleman get up into turn 4, nobody around him. He just loses it and gets up in the wall. Now, this is the same Brad Coleman we saw last week. Let's take a look at the 36 car. Oh, we just missed it right there in the shot. Here it comes back. Let's take another angle here. Brad Coleman spins, gets to the wall. No place to go for the 36 car. Oh, my gosh. And he just got the lucky dog back. He's probably thinking, what in the world? I went from a hero to a hobo, man, or nothing flat. Yeah, you saw the rear end kick out from under the car. The nose went back up, and he tried to get that thing back off and save it a little bit. But, boy, at least he didn't get driver's side first. He got knocked out in practice here when this track was built, and he knows those walls hurt. We heard in Las Vegas. Yeah, we just wiped them both out. Let's take a look, see what happens here. Oh, it just looks like Dave Blaney loses it on top side of the racetrack. Classic case of that aero loose again, Andy.
Yeah, and he just caught his teammate up in that. There was no contact between them until after Dave Blaney spun. Just unfortunate for this team to have both their cars wrapped up in this.
You see Menard just flat loses it coming off of turn 2, and it's just a classic case we talked earlier in our presentation, Andy, about aero loose. Paul Menard just lost that car, and that's just an indication of how hard these tires are again. These drivers are doing a fabulous job holding on to these cars with what they got to work with.
Let's see what David Gilliland saw from the onboard camera. Here again in the corner, right side of your screen, way up across the racetrack.
You know, he said somebody got him loose on his radio, but it just didn't look like that. It looks like JJ got so high in the racetrack that he just spun. We'd have to go back in this replay again. We'll try to get back to it one more time. I'm going to watch an earlier portion of it. Alongside Mike Wallace, they're awful, running awful close into Mike, gets himself sideways. Now here's the scary part, guys. On the apron, into the grass. Oh, he missed the grass. And back, oh, driver's side wall. We were looking out the window, guys, watching them go driver's side at that wall. Very concerned that was going to be a hard side driver impact.
The Nextel Cup event on Sunday.
Now, you talk about risk reward. He just loses. This is a classic case of just spinning out again. Here's a driver who's got a lot of talent, one of the best drivers in all of NASCAR, and it just proves that they can lose the car also. It's just not the rookies. And if you see all this carnage coming by, Andy, what's your take on this risk reward? I'm not going to give up on you, man. I want to know what you're thinking as a past car owner. Well,
I talked to Casey Kane in the garage. He said he just can't he can't tell where the edge is. And if I'm Ray Evernham, you know, I just got to think, man, I don't want to get my driver hurt out here in a Busch race. But it looks like he'll be okay. But the heavy impact was on Reed Sorensen behind him. Man, what a wreck.
Yeah, there's the 41 of Sorensen coming across, and a couple of cars doing a nice job just to avoid hitting Sorensen in the passenger side door. Here's Mike Wallace's view.
It's a void.
Well, if you're ever going to hit the wall, backing it in against a soft wall, that's the best way to do it. But when you see these cars coming at your door as you're parked in the middle of the racetrack.
Just a moment ago in turn 4.
Looks like a right front tire went down and shot him right in the wall. And oh my goodness, there goes Reed Sorensen up over his left rear tire.
Boy, that was a hard hit. Man. He blew that right front and, man, mangled that wall off of turn 4.
And watch Sorensen down to the inside. And we come back inside with Ray Abraham. And Ray, the boys, Rusty, are talking about the tires now. Do we have an issue developing here in Atlanta today?
Let's take a look what happened here. Oh, looks like he got tagged by the 22 car, David Stremme, up off of turn 4.
Wow, rear tires came off the ground.
You can call that a great job from Jamie or just flat lucky, but I'll take it any way they want to give it to me right now, because when you wreck off of turn 4 to land and save it, you've done something big. Let's take a look what happened here, because he's a lucky dog. He looked like he's flying. Oh, he's flying back up to the front. And that is something you really got to be careful of. The 33 car, Tony Raines, is warming his tires up. And the spotter always needs to tell the guys, here comes the car a lap down to get it back. See, just moves up to 47, loses his aerodynamic downforce. See, just moves up to 47. See, just moves up to 47, loses his aerodynamic downforce, spins, catches it back, takes the 66 out. Unbelievable.
Two of the talented young drivers, up-and-coming drivers here in the NASCAR Busch Series. The 47 is the third-generation member of the Wood brothers family, 25-year-old John Wood, and, of course, a second-generation Wallace, 19-year-old Stephen Wallace involved. And there is John Wood walking back down toward the safety vehicles after the pretty hard lick there into the wall. And coming out of turn 4, whoa.
We got to see that one more time, Jerry. It looks like the car just hung a dead right, like a suspension failure or something like that.
I didn't know what to say there. I've never seen one do that.
I don't never see, look, the car just hangs a dead right. That is very strange. That's like almost a steering wheel came off or something.
Well, you can't even turn it that abruptly into the wall. Like something just snapped abruptly, and there was nowhere whatsoever for Brent Sherman to go. Let's watch him now sailing into turn 1. There's Dale Earnhardt Jr. behind Casey Kane, and right into the back of the 38, Jason Leffler.
This is a typical accordion effect. Somebody in the front just bobbles a little bit, and it all stacks up. The reaction time is just so much less as it stacks up behind.
On an apron, that's not where you need to be. Slides up. And as they exit, just gets a little piece of the 59 car of Marcus Ambrose. Now, and he gets a little payback himself right there as his left front fender catches the 38 of Leffler. Now, getting down on an apron on the flat, wide open going at the corner is not the place to be either.
No,
so
you're just asking for trouble if you're racing on the apron at Bristol.
Looking back at turn 4, there he goes around. Steven tries to go to the high side to get by him, and up comes Krisiloff.
yeah, it's just a bad luck right there. He just almost made it, but there's a lot of dirty part of the racetrack after rubber, oil dry, stuff like that. It's really slick on the top of that track. So
Kyle Busch goes in, and the car just starts to get out of shape there as he tries to go beneath the 21 car.
yeah, I can't really blame that on Cleaver. It looks like Kyle got in there, got sideways, and when he got...
You were riding on board there with, once again, Johnny Sauter to 28 in the back of Jason Leffler.
That's a good illustration of the accordion effect. You see how one car just starts stacking them all up, and not enough reaction time.
And there's just no room for anybody to go. The whole racetrack's blocked. The 16 car drives under the back of the 66 cars, and the 88 is Shane Huffman.
This is one of the Richard Childress cars, and Andy, just as you said, he's going to move him. Exactly, it happens, and that will bring out.
Yeah, I thought that was about as far as the patients were going to take it.
And you made the call, Andy, and I think he heard you.
He's pretty dry. Take a look at this replay. Yeah, Bobby Labonte looks like he might have been trying to make a low line to get around the inside of him, and just gets into the 99 of Rudeman. Because I can tell you one thing I know about Bobby Labonte, he's not a rough driver. I know he didn't mean to do that on purpose.
Yeah, Jerry Baxter and his crew.
Going to happen, and he's trying to get, and actually the 60 and 17 stacked up behind him as they were trying to slow down, while the 12 is trying to get by Mike Wallace.
It's that typical Bristol stack up.
Brakes. He just needs to stay on the racetrack, get down to apron, don't dare trying to come down pit road. You know, it does look like Bobby Labonte got a little aggressive with him.
Yeah, he just barely caught the corner of Eric Almirola.
Right.
In the final laps, look again, let's see what happened.
Got one slow up here. Go high, go high, go high, go high, go high.
Well, let's...
But, hopefully I can bring them some, and again, we're just here having fun and trying to get a guitar.
Well, Marty, it looks like David Stremme's giving his mother at least
Yeah, while you finish up with David, poor Kyle Krisiloff just
parked it nose first into the wall, and
racing hard, and we see the 10 car of Dave Blaney pass to Johnny Sauter. Looks like Johnny gets right up under the bumper, lifts him off the ground, spins him around.
Johnny tapped him in this front straightaway there, it looks like, and just got him right around. It looks like Blaney tried to pull down in front of him and just really got down too quick on him.
Johnny Sauter's lap car should be giving these guys a little more room.
Getting to turn one. Oh, he just moves up into the back of Timothy Peters, loses his downforce, causes him to spin up into Timothy Peters and causes this big wreck. Andy, it looks like he just got in high, though. It looks like he couldn't get, it looks like Curtis Davis couldn't get that car down.
Yeah, but I can see why Curtis Davis, or why.
go back. Keep an eye on the number 9 right there. There's Jason Leffler. And it looks like they did have some contact, guys.
Yeah, it looks like Jason moved up just a little bit, and the 9 was there and kind of coming down. They kind of came together.
It's like going to a crossroads. Busch was running out of room because the groove is still not wide enough. A lot of oil dry and tire rubber up there.
I can show you what happened. He's on the 37. Sam Hornish underneath him.
It looks like Sam gets a little bit loose, chases it up the hill, nowhere to go, but into the 37 car. He's just along for the ride.
It's aero loose.
Bang, bang.
This is aero loose again, the same problem.
Exactly what we were talking about.
Exactly the same thing that happened with the 12 car of Sam Hornish a little while ago.
I see why you cringe when you see him going there.
Well, I tell you,
it looks like he's got a little bit of a problem developing, and then that 59 car gets into him just a little bit, gets out of the groove. We were talking about the groove being right on the bottom of the racetrack, and he gets up out of that, and it takes him right in the wall.
Yeah, it looked like he was struggling a little bit there. There's just not a lot of grip there in that second groove yet, and he was trying to make that work around.
Got something seriously wrong. Let's take a look. Whoa, look at this thing go. How did he keep it off the wall?
I don't know, but he was saying something was broken. It didn't look like the tires had blown out yet. It looked like they did once he started spinning and locked the wheels up. The tires blew out, but I don't. Yeah, it looks like Stephen Wallace just pushed up a little bit and got into the 36 car. Brent Sherman turned him around, and then you see all these other guys trying to scatter and try to avoid these guys, and they end up hitting each other and causing a lot of damage. There's definitely contact. And this happened after that wreck, after this all happened, and you see these guys get together, and oh my goodness, you see the 88, 47 car of John Wood.
Yeah, John Wood thought he was through the wreck, and all of a sudden here comes a car right in front of him that he can't avoid.
Favor of Denny Hamlin. He's the leader right now, so we see here he gets a little tap from the 12 car, Regan Smith in the 4.
Let's go on board with Kurt Busch in the 12 car. Back here at Texas, you saw what we saw for the first time when we went to break. It was really Marcus Ambrose there in the 59 that got into Montoya, guys.
Yeah, it looked like these two rookies that were kind of what Schrader calls arguing over space, and it really took out both of them right here.
Yeah, top 2 rookie contenders, and that's just as we explained earlier. Guy on the inside has a lot of responsibility there not to use up too much of that space, because it's easy. Early on, you're just looking for some kind of grip, and it's very tight out there. Oh, Shane Huffman looked like, I don't know if he locked up the brakes getting in there, if they just slowed down in front of him, but looked like he got down off the racetrack and created a big mess.
Yeah, it looks like he got really surprised getting into turn 1. Either it kind of stacked up on him when they went in there, or
from behind.
Yeah, we see the 6 car of David Dragon gets into him. Yeah, just right in the back of him. I can see why Johnny might be a little upset with that move. Definitely got help.
Yeah, he wasn't really doing anything wrong. He might have been, obviously he was a little slower back to the throttle, but, people drive this place differently. Some will carry a little more speed through there. Others will back it off a little bit getting into the corner, but get back to the gas.
And see the contact.
Oh, it looks like Ward Burton gets on the apron, gets loose, corrects it up, gets into Bobby Hamilton Jr., and, hard impact there.
Ward Burton, one of the veterans here, driving for Bruco Motorsports. We'll watch the impact again from across the turn.
Yeah, sometimes you can use that apron to your advantage. A lot of other times, this type of thing will happen. You hit it, it will loosen you up. And if you've got a car out there that's already taken some air off of your car, and we've talked already about how important aerodynamics are here.
Position in the top 10, that would be a net gain, and that's what they're looking at. Oh.
Whoa, that won't happen there. Contact with the 5 car.
Wreck behind you, caution's out, caution's out.
And Kyle Busch comes right across in front of David Reagan in the front of that car number 5. That up to Cleaver here, up in the corner.
Looks like he got a little bit of help from the 41 car, David Stremme.
Stremme had moved into the top 10, and he was wanting to get even a little further, a little quicker.
There's a lap down. There's the first car lap down right behind the 42. Whoa, and there's contact between Montoya and Steve Wallace, and Wallace goes around, and Montoya just...
Watch him come on down.
Great job on Juan Montoya's part not to get involved in that.
Behind Montoya.
Looks like he got a little bit of help from the 47.
Yeah,
John Wood.
He might have wiggled a little bit. John Wood back in the gas pretty hard.
And looks like the 7 back at Phoenix International Raceway. Here's the incident a moment ago. The 7 car gets a little tap behind. He spins. The 25 tries to check up. He gets tapped from behind by the 47 of John Wood. And so both Gillen, the 25, and Mike Wallace, the 7 car.
Oh, looks like he had a tire go down.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, that does. That's a hard lick.
Go watch the 1 car. That's Elliott Sadler and the 9 behind him. Here's J.J. Yaley going into the corner.
Well, he just gets in a little bit too hot. Looks like he locked up the brakes. The rear brakes kind of took over, and the car spun out and got in the wall. Just hard driving. Ooh, that's a hard impact there.
Season so far for Jason Leffler.
All right, Jamie. Whoa, contact, and Ward Burton is tapped. His car gets sideways. There's Ruderman's car sliding broadside into turn 1. Other cars up against the wall, against the concrete.
Keep it up straight. You're okay. Okay, just lock her down. Lock her down. All right. We didn't hit nothing, guys. Keep rolling. When you get a chance, keep rolling. Pace.
First white line, there's a seam right there, and actually your car will get in that, and it'll actually move one way or the other. And it looks like maybe Ward's right front got in there and went up the racetrack just a little bit. I'm just guessing that happened because I've had it happen in my car before.
Dedicated to restrictor plate racing. Less than a dozen people. Oh, and we've got trouble on the track, and it's Kyle Busch upside down.
Big time crash. Kyle Busch goes upside down and rolls down across on his roof here on lap 26. Cars comes back over, and now side over side barrel rolls. And comes to rest on its wheels. Left side of your screen in the 5 car.
Now, he moved to the outside to go around Casey Mears. It looked like Tony was going to go out there to help him, and it could have possibly been a little bit of contact. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be, because you can get yourself out there, and all of a sudden the air's changing, and just a horrific wreck. But once again, Kyle Busch gets out and walks away. Well, it looked like David had thoughts. He had a push from the 33 car of Tony Stewart, and he had thoughts of going around Casey Mears, the leader, on the outside. But Tony was just basically faking him out and went to the inside, and then David tried to cover that spot, and just wasn't there for him to get back down.
Yeah, that's a risky move when you pull down in front of somebody that's coming like that. And, you know, it might, especially at this point of the race, it might have been better just to stay up a lane.
It's coming up to him.
Oh, we see a big hard bump draft right there, and that was just, there was just too much closure rate. They were coming too fast into each other.
Yeah, and he was pushing him to the 42, and then the 16 car, Greg Biffle, couldn't go any further, and he got one more big shot, and that turned him to the right into the wall.
Biffle at 190 plus miles an hour with that Ford. Fusion comes across and just catches the right rear fender of John Wood. As we ride on board now with the 90 car of Stephen Light and see his point of view.
Good job, man.
Right side of your screen, watch the 20 car, and right behind him is Ward Burton as his car goes around and goes up across the racetrack. Great job by Bobby Labonte in the 77 to miss him, but he does have contact with the concrete.
Yeah, you could see as they were coming through the corner there that things were kind of stacking up. Everybody looked like they wanted to.
Yeah, they can't seem to get organized in that outside lane like they were earlier.
Whoa, contact. Stephen Wallace gets sideways. He is tapped from behind. And this is the one no one wanted, the big one late, and Stephen Light has nowhere to go head on into the 41 car. There's the 90 car of Stephen Light, who's having such a great run as the 41 car of Reed Sorensen got spun around. And
Look in. He's up against the car right in front of him, who was Casey Kane, but he's still getting that push from behind because Reed Sorensen can't see that he's totally against that car, and that's where it just gets down to the end of this race, and we start. I say we do it in the Cup race too. Yeah, perfect example. Early in the race, you still don't have a lot of heat in the tires right now. The air pressures are still pretty low. You try to get back in the gas, and one of two things is going to happen a lot of times. If your car's on the loose side, you're going to chase the back end up into that car. It looked like his car pushed up a little bit. He tried to stay off of J.J. Yeley, and in turn spun himself out. See, Sam's on the outside entering the corner here, and Stephen Wallace down on the bottom. Looks like Stephen could have possibly gotten his left front down on the apron, and that happens a lot as you're trying to go right around the bottom. And what will happen is it'll turn the car really quickly right there. And when you try to get it, and you can see Matt Kenseth is up on the outside. I don't know if there's any contact there. It looks like Denny was trying to get off of the corner hard. And when you fight, what you fight here is trying to get your car turning in the center where you can get a good run off the
back. See if we can see what happened.
Oh, got a little contact.
Got an assist.
56 car.
Yeah, the tires getting a little bit worn now. Makes it a little more difficult to go through that corner side by side.
3 wide in turn 3 never works too good.
No, there's just not enough room, and restarts are what you're always a little bit cautious about here, because especially back in the pack where the racing is hard, and you're trying to go as hard as you can. You've got lap cars trying to get up there and get themselves in a position.
Let's take another look at it. Oh, bang.
Yeah, J.J. Yaley just got underneath the 28 car, got loose, turned right, had to chase the car up and got into the side of him.
All right, let's talk a little strategy.
As you go into turn 1, the guy on the inside has that lane, and it looked like Marcus tried to get in behind David Rudiman and just cut in a little bit soon.
Yeah, that's where these veterans know about the give and take at this racetrack, because you never race somebody down in the corner like that. When they got that kind of position at Darlington, you'd let them have it.
Especially each other hard at a point in the race that they probably could have backed up, but you see, it's just racing here. I mean, that's literally just racing. It's easy to say that Todd Lever could have backed off and given Eric a little bit more room there, but the guys are here to race, and as a driver and you're on that outside, that you might have the guy pinned down a little bit. But it looked like Eric's car just washed up the racetrack a little bit, and been in these situations many times. We've seen it many times in these races. And that'll really get the handling off.
Or at least broke the 2x4.
I'll guarantee you it broke the 2x4.
Stand behind you. Caution's out. Caution's out. You're clear by 1.
36 of Brent Sherman spins around.
You're watching this, that battle with all of those cars in there, and I'm sure that people are probably at home. I think that it's probably cut down a tire for Ryan Newman's car as we see him spin now.
Yeah, Ryan Newman's. The tire going down, he just had no control, tried to save it, and the car just whips around.
But it just requires so much respect. But we see here, he got a lot of help right there.
Yeah, he got a little help from another rookie in Marcus Ambrose.
And he had nowhere to go. He already had some right side damage where he had a Darlington stripe, but being nosed into that wall, and you saw the water pouring from beneath the front of that car.
I'm not sure he'll have that with him.
Let's see if we can show you what happened. Top of your screen there. The 17 car already spinning and now in the wall. Here comes the 23. The 35, great move by Bobby Hamilton.
That was because they're on old tires. I can't tell you how difficult it is. You go into that corner as we see the 23 back into the 17, but the damage is already done there for.
Yeah, there's a lot of debris on the racetrack. I'd be really worried about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, big time contact. And you see all that debris, all of that stuff. Any of that stuff can cut a tire down.
Bobby Labonte, top of your screen there, his car a little sideways, and then there's contact with David Rudiman, and Labonte's car goes sailing, boom, head on into the concrete, the inside wall.
Well, it's a good thing that safer barrier is on the inside as well, because that was a hard impact.
Yeah, it's great that the tracks looked at that and NASCAR looked at that. And saw that is a trouble spot coming out of turn 4. Keep momentum. That's the biggest thing. As we see Reed Sorensen get into the corner here, he was about middle of the racetrack and trying to carry that speed. And all it takes is just a split second that you lose grip, whether it's the front or the back. And it looks like obviously there Reed lost the back. Those tires will start chattering
off the corner.
Well, that thing just jumped sideways there pretty early on exit. It looks like well, we know the left rear tire was up, but it still is. But
just went in there high, Jerry, and it came out from under him. Looked like the rear broke loose and just couldn't get it back under control.
Yeah, that's the problem with these things is you.
He thought he had it saved, but he just crossed up on him.
Yeah, you heard him say that he'd got up there on the higher side with the 9 car, so he was just experimenting there again, seeing if he could make his car go a little bit faster at that time. But this is, again, just a masterful job of keeping that car off the wall. I can't tell you how difficult that is and getting it righted and not hitting anything.
Boy, Joey Chitwood would be to bring out the caution. Top of your screen.
Looks like the car just got out from under him. Same thing we saw earlier with the 6 car of David Reagan. The car just spun out.
44 car, Mike Bliss spinning. You saw that the 48 car, also Jimmy Johnson spinning around. He spun around, got back on the racetrack, did not lose a lap. In 14th position, holding off Matt Kenseth and company behind him, and he just couldn't quite hang on there as he got sort of shoved up out of the groove, and Kenseth and Jeff Burton and company go by.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a rookie or don't have much experience. You have it, Dover. You get
out of the 88 car.
Yeah, it looks like it just broke loose on him. You know, he had some damage from hitting the wall earlier, and the car probably wasn't driving good. But he's made some good hard contact there. That's going to probably...
Just got the air knocked out of me.
Oh, yeah, you see the tire goes down, and he's got nowhere to go but in the fence right there.
I can tell you, thank goodness for the safer barriers, because I've hit this wall before having a tire go down, and it's no fun. It's no fun with the safer barriers.
Puts him back there in a really vulnerable position to get in a wreck.
Yeah, watch the top of your screen here. There's a 7 car bouncing off, and then watching these guys trying to avoid him as he's just trying to get the car slowed down but can't get it to stop.
Yeah, this all started off at turn 4, which is very difficult in these restarts, and it just continued all the way down into turn 1.
All these guys just looking for a place to go. Can't quite get out of the way quick enough.
Turn 4. There's the contact there, the 18 and the 4.
Yeah, the 18 gets right in the left rear quarter panel of the 4, turns him sideways, turns him around, and then all these guys nowhere to go. That's what's so bad. We talked about this track, how it's got all the banking on the straightaway, and then you got these 2 walls so close together. There's just nowhere to go. It's almost like wrecking in a back alley.
Yeah, exactly. He got in tires, and he didn't move quite as fast as Kevin Harvick did getting back to the throttle in that corner.
Now, he was the only car 1 lap down.
Yeah, if he hadn't been involved in the caution, he would have been in line for the lucky dog.
You can't bring it out. Yeah, you can't.
But the rule says yes, you just can't bring it out and take advantage of it.
Details, guys, come on.
And we see here as he come out of turn 2, gets a little bit of help.
Yeah, this didn't look like his fault, but still gets turned around and gets a little damage on his fender and front end. Maybe they can get in there and get him straightened out and still get a decent finish out of it.
Yeah, he stayed on the lead lap. He did a great job of not hitting anything as he was spinning there. Again, that doesn't happen very often here when you start spinning out. But
final laps down in turn 1, the 16 car Biffle goes around. There, the 99 car was involved. There's the contact there, Krisaloff and Curtis Davis.
I'm not so sure whose fault that was, though. You saw, Krisaloff on the top of the racetrack, and Curtis Davis looks like he got up and just got into the left rear quarter panel of Krisaloff. Just 3 wide. Let's take one more look at this.
Looks like the 18 car just slid up a little bit, got in the left rear of the 41, and he hit that wall pretty hard. Got some damage there.
Looks like he lost that front end, like you were saying. Got up in there, and boy, tried to pull that baby down and keep it off the 41, and that rear end kicked out, and he was a passenger at that point.
Now watch his teammate get slow the 19th or 20th spot.
The last thing you want to see is 3 wide going into the start of the race. 47 car gets up and clips Kelly Byers, gets him in the left rear quarter panel. And you might be able to fix this car, Marty. It's got the rear of it tore up a little bit.
Listen in.
It looks like Kyle Krisaloff was all up behind him, giving him a good shove. Don't know if there was contact there or if he just got aero loose or what happened. Nobody around him. A lot of rear spring in these cars, make these cars really, really loose on the beginning of the run. And they just lost it looks like, on the bottom.
Let's listen if we can hear the transmission here.
Get down. Back. Stay where you're at. Stay where you're at. Stay where you're at.
All right, that is what I was talking about, the aero loose. When those guys get that close, Marty, you lose the downforce of the inside air of the car. It's a classic aero loose, I call it. He spun. And he just went 3 wide, trying to get along the outside of the 56 car, and just ran out of room. Classic case. What we saw earlier in the event, first couple laps, matter of fact.
And he definitely got into him.
Yeah, he definitely got into him. They were trying to go hard on that restart. Okay, Riggins just getting the top of the racetrack, gets up on the gray part of the track, just gets loose, spins to the bottom, no harm, no foul. So we can get a replay a little bit farther back to see what happened to Stephen Wallace back there.
Yeah, you're right. There's damage in the right rear quarter panel of Steve's car, and that wasn't there before.
Now I see Cal Krislov's car coming by with a lot of damage. I don't know if he's
extending lap after lap, and yeah, there was nobody around him. He didn't get any push.
Well, Brad Coleman, if he can get the tires cleaned off and get a good restart without Wimmer getting underneath.
You know, we talked about this race.
Little contact there.
Oh, and that's Ron Hornaday hard into the wall.
And there's the caution. Stephen Wallace needed to get one of the laps back.
Gets into the back of him. And then Kelly Byers just has to slide into a stop, try to avoid all this.
Things. Ooh.
Gets a little help from Todd Bodine.
Man, that started back on the front stretch.
Sorry to say, it was way early in the straightaway. Boy, hard hit.
So will the leaders pit here? The answer is yes. Dave Burns happened here.
Looks like these guys stacked up in the corner got together.
Put Richard Johns on the spun list.
And then these other guys, we see Ambrose spinning to try to miss him. Marcus Ambrose in 59.
See him racing hard down in the middle of 1 and 2. As we said, you have to really be careful here entering the corner, especially on the inside. Your car's already light, and then it gets a little bit more so, and you run out of racing room. And
yeah, very similar to what we saw with Stephen Wallace. You get real loose down on the bottom, and it looked like that Marcus Ambrose didn't give him a lot of room to try to catch the car. And then they banged wheels and spun out there, but you didn't get to see what happened. It looked like that one car maybe ran up underneath the 59 after this.
Look at this. Backwards already up on the wall.
Wow. I bet he's glad that's a safer barrier instead of concrete. Almost tipped over there.
Yeah, this is going into these corners again. You're running over 150 miles an hour, so the impact and for some reason with this banking, as we've changed that over the years here, we've seen as cars hit these walls a lot of times that they will get up in the air. Nothing quite that severe, but.
Just inside of the 90 car, Stephen Like, and there was a bit of contact there as he went by.
Yeah, you know, I don't know who you put that on, because it looked like one was moving up and the other was kind of coming down, and they were anticipating each other's moves.
The way I always look at that, though, the lead lap guys got the track.
Probably going to stay out there, like you said, as long as they possibly can. And Carl Edwards is doing his very best.
Contact, and Juan Pablo Montoya goes around. He gets tagged from behind by the 2 car of Clint Boyer, and just that quickly, Montoya, who had a...
Yeah, we see a little bit of a wiggle. Then he chases it and just loses it. Looks like the tire did go down. Oh, and that 99 car, David Rudiman, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. We got some big evasive moves coming here.
Yeah, Mike Bliss, the 22 car, moves, slides to avoid it. There. On board with David Rudiman.
A lot worse from that angle for sure. That was a pretty hard lick.
And leaders are on pit road. Behind this lead 5, some 6 cars, single file, and behind them all 1 car out of shape. That is Jamie McMurray. Can he hang on? No, he's sideways and spins it around. Can he keep
the brake right there if you can hold her straight? He got hit in the side, boys, from the 1 car.
That was almost a huge wreck right there.
Get her going. We're going to put
speed once you get there.
I'd watch Montoya right in front of Casey Kane, gets sideways, almost gets the back end of Tony Stewart.
We've seen some real close calls today.
And he had the worst case scenario right there with a 9 car.
Twice in the race here. And there we are in progress. The car's already backwards, and it goes right up across, so just like you said, Rusty, right across into the wall and just nudges that left rear quarter panel.
Yeah, Jerry, I'm not for sure that might have started a little bit earlier in what we just showed you this, and we'll go back and try to find some more. But no, that was a hard impact right up in the safe barrier, and thank gosh for the safe barrier. You know, he hit left rear instead of driver's side, so that's much better.
Yeah, that's still a hard lick, though, and even if you hit a softball, it's still a hard lick. Sitting on pit road, and then, wow, you see that 36 car, you can tell just how fast these cars are going. You see that car turn around backwards, and the back end just flies up off the ground.
Well, one thing you got to realize, Andy, you're right. These guys are actually running faster than they do at Daytona or Talladega in straightaway speed. You know, close to 200. Daytona, you're 180 or something like that.
That was a pretty spectacular crash right there. Racing up on the outside of Cale Gale in the 33. Looks like he may have locked up the brakes getting in the corner.
Something.
Actually, looks like we got to see some smoke.
They have a leak somewhere, or was that a break?
No, I saw some sparks coming out of the right side of it, too. I don't know if...
Like flames in the right rear there.
You know, guys, I'm not so sure we didn't lose an engine. It's coming out from under the hood. Flames out the side. It looks like the thing has blew an engine up getting down in the corner, so it's happening behind it. We got tag from Landon Castle. The 14 car comes through of Kyle Krisloff, and they're wrecking way behind him. Everybody's trying to slow down, and they stay wrecking.
It looked like Kenny Wallace was trying to get up across a racetrack, up, out, away from those spinning cars, starting when this 21 car got up high, and the tap came from behind by Landon Castle.
And you see all these other guys start crashing behind. Just everybody gets on the brakes trying to avoid the wreck, and then the first guy up front gets tagged by the guy behind, and it just sets it all up.
He's right on the bottom of the racetrack, no problem. He gets taken.
Caution, caution.
He gets hit from behind because of the chain reaction. Everybody trying to slow up.
Big boys.
Job out there with Richard Childress Racing. He's understanding this car.
Oh. Got two guys here getting together.
Contact.
Going around behind you. Caution's out.
That's what I was talking about. These young guys, you got to pull the reins back on them.
Travis Kittle. Let's see if we can see what happened entering turn one.
This is almost identical to qualifying. It gets down into turn one, it gets loose.
Just half a car length of the 60. You gets right in the back of the 42.
That's too bad. That was.
Carl got in the back of him, took him out accidentally. 1, 2, 3 cars in that accident to help Edwards. I know he didn't mean to do that, but now these caution flags are really going to help on the fuel. And he's going to be the beneficiary out of this whole deal that he started.
Wow, Scott Wimmer did a great job to miss those guys.
Yeah.
33 car didn't miss, got into the wall here. Ride with Cale Gale in the 33 right here. You see this wreck happen just in front of him. There's nothing he can do to try to avoid that.
And you're Kelly up the track, no contact, but they both run up, got to get out of the throttle, and they all run out of real estate.
And Bobby East in the 37 car gets into it. And then Kelly Byers gets involved.
Yeah, Bobby East had the 77 on the inside of him. Now, this is
They've been struggling getting into this corner loose.
Hold it up there, hold it up there.
Sounded like it may have been wheel hopping, like he wheel hopped the rear wheels getting in that corner.
He did a great job this morning in practice I was watching. Uh-oh.
Whoa, this is trouble. Keep it off
He's not
the
hitting
wall.
nothing.
No. Ruined a set of good years, but that's okay.
Is that team in the top 30?
On the 24. Oh, it looked like Steve Wallace may have given him an assist.
Bump drafting getting in. That's not the hot ticket.
So there may not be. Let's see what happens. Oh, got a little assist maybe?
Well, he definitely. I wonder if that could be a payback. Okay, here they are coming out of turn 4. Like I said, those guys get close together early on. And Legacy just didn't give enough room on the outside.
And it goes all the way down to turn 1 before they finally come to a stop.
Early in the race like that, you know.
Flight ship.
Where's he at? Right there. He got a little help.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Not his fault. Yeah, fresh tires won't help that.
No. 8 tires probably wouldn't help that. Somebody's got to have some damage in the front. Look out, coming in hot.
Oh, Nick Johnson in the 28. Into the back of Jourdain, into the back of Hornaday.
Oh, he's still going.
Looked like the 47 of Lally might have gone.
Stop! Okay, I stopped.
I mean, that was literally at pit exit, and he... Boy, did they make contact before he spun? Or?
No, I think David just got out of the way, and Jorge just got in there and miscalculated the corner and got in there really hot.
A little bit back in the pack because their strategy didn't work out as well as it could have. And now going to run a little farther back in the pack.
Yeah, he was setting up the guy in front of him, and the guy behind him says, well, sorry, I'm putting my fender in there, and it turned him around.
Now down in the hairpin, the race for second. Ron Hornaday to the outside of Scott Pruitt. Not Ron Hornaday, Ron Fellows, I'm sorry.
No contact at all.
They both just spun. And look at Harvick inside of Pruitt for fourth place. Pruitt shuts the door on him. Harvick hits him back, and he gets Fellows. Big pile up down in turn 2.
Took out his teammate. Took out his own car he owns.
They're still running into each other trying to get through it. Brad Coleman involved, Ron Hornaday involved, and up front, Robbie Gordon by Ambrose, who goes back on him. Caution flags waving. There it is. Couldn't see that coming, could you?
Just out of the groove here. There's nowhere to go right here. It's almost like running in an alley with these guardrails on both sides.
And he just got into the entry of the S's and got too high, tried to make too late of an entry, it appears, and got out in the gray. It's on the outside of the track. And you think he can get it gathered back up, but he gets in that grass. It turns him around. He lost traction. Bam! Into the wall. At least it wasn't driver's side first.
He's no problem right here. He's on the asphalt, but he just catches that grass right there that shoots him right into David Ruderman, the 99 car.
You gotta believe he was on the throttle hard when he hit that grass, and that's...
Is done, and we will try to catch up to him as soon as he gets out.
And you see Ron Fellows right there getting spun around going into turn number 1.
The inner loop involving the 6 car and the 35.
Looks like the 35 car, Bobby Hamilton Jr. was trying to just dive in there on the brakes and gets into the 6 car, David Reagan. They kind of spin in harmony.
Cars off. B ready.
Got some contact from behind.
Just a couple of turns away from the finish, and this happens.
Oh, Ron Fellows and him get together, and they both have a problem. Now that's getting stuck. That's what we were talking about. When you get backwards like that, you are a racetrack all by himself. Oh, car gets loose. He tries to gather it up and in the wall. And Andy, I believe that's just a case of low tire pressure and not enough grip in the tires. And unfortunately, Kevin just lost that car and got in the wall.
And then he's trying to get the car back to the pits, and you can see he's got a lot of damage. He's got a tire going down, spins the car back around here.
Starts fishtailing back and forth, and he loses control of it.
Points leader involved, the 60 car.
He slides up right in front of Reed Sorensen in the 41 and gets a tap from behind.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure Reed Soren could have done anything about that. The 60 car, Carl Edwards, is going backwards. The car has not been handling well at all.
Right of your screen in the turn.
And it looks like Mike just got in the corner and lost some grip and spun it around, but it doesn't look like he's got much damage. The left front fender beat in just a little bit. He's up high in the racetrack, and it looks like Mears actually come up and got into his left rear quarter panel. Maybe Casey's front end took off on him. Maybe he got into a big push. Maybe got a little impatient and picked the throttle up too early and got in his quarter panel. That's probably what happened.
Oh, he just blows that right front, and Burton was already committed to the outside.
That's just the racetrack. You know, the racetrack's been so good, and Jeff's been running the top of the track, and he committed to the top. You know, I was talking earlier about how these noses settle down in the corner. 25 car around. Big crash. David Gillian. Looks like the car just got loose.
I saw the left rear tire went flat. I saw it right as you were talking there. I just happened to notice.
It's here because they're running 3 wide on this racetrack. Let's take a look at this replay. Just gets up in the side. It looked like the 56 car.
Danny O'Quinn was on the outside, and you see the heavy damage there.
That's a typical Bristol crash right there. Just running out of room coming off. See, the 9 car just gets right into the back of Brent Sherman, turns him around.
Guys, I saw 2 things happen there. It looks like the 36 got loose a little bit, had to check up a little bit, and Casey was already there in the 9 car and just got right in the back of him there, and they started stacking up behind him.
Let's take a look at what happened to Kelly Byers there in the corner, bringing out caution number 8 right up across the racetrack, guys.
Looks like he just got loose again, like we've been seeing all night long with a lot of cars. Just lost it all by himself and spun the car. But Andy, I was talking earlier, these cars aren't tightening up. They're all loose out here, and that's the biggest thing I'm seeing.
Caution. You see, here we go. Marcus Ambrose just gets loose, getting in the corner. Car turns around. He already had some damage from an earlier spin.
It looked like he was already really loose before that with that right rear quarter panel damage. Didn't have the downforce he needed. But again, we're seeing all these loose conditions getting at the corner. They get at the corner so deep and they just lose it. Owen's knocked out. Let's take a look at this. Bobby just drives up in the back of him, spins him out. And close racing here at Bristol, Tennessee. But it looks like Steven had a clear racetrack there and Bobby just got a little anxious.
Couldn't have been much of a tap there. They didn't look like they made big impact there.
Different angle. Watch at him coming at you.
Yeah.
3 wide, 4 wide, and that's not what you want to do. And he gets tagged in the right rear quarter panel. Allmendinger does, and Keselowski's like, where did this come from? I didn't even see that one coming. That was just one freak accident, and the one car got in the back of that, and that's what started the whole thing.
Yeah, Brad Keselowski really got blindsided. He didn't see this coming at all. You see this 42 car gets sideways, gets into the right rear quarter panel, and then this 88 car just slams the wall, went up in the air.
Guys, I don't know if I've seen a harder wreck before going into turn 1 of my life. Thing on fire. Again, the soft wall that NASCAR's got at most all these racetracks really held up, and it was a great thing. And we saw Brad get out of the car. That's great. And boys, I'll tell you what, that reminds me of some bad accidents we've seen in this sport in the past. But thank gosh the kid walked away. Terrible impact.
It gives you a sense of how fast these cars are going. Entering this corner right here, you see that car just hit the wall, get up in the air. These cars are going over 200 miles an hour getting into that corner.
Actually danced on the hood of the 42 cars, what kept it up in the air, and Keselowski's car was along that right rear tire, along the soft wall. That's safe for Barry, then came back down to rest there.
Racetrack, trying to pass Ryan Newman, gets up in that gray and just gets loose and spins the car. And guys, it looked like he had that right rear tire all the way up in the dirty portion of the racetrack. I mean, no, he didn't mean to do that, but that's what it appeared would happen. The car just got out from underneath him.
It looked like the groove just wasn't cleaned off all the way to the wall, so he got that right rear up in the sandy part.
He took a real late entry, real high on the racetrack, and it really looks just what we saw with Greg Biffle. He got the right rear tire up in the gray and just lost the car, and that was an awful high line that Casey took. But, you know, he's one of the drivers that does it a lot. He likes working the top side of the track, but this time it bit him.
Distance, they've got 2 different calculations. Their pre-race calculation says they're 1 lap short. However, their race calculation says they're 1 lap to the good.
Mike,
but we may have trouble on the racetrack,
Mike.
Hold the brake, hold the brake.
The 20 car of Denny Hamlin.
Play, guys.
4 wide right here. So everybody just looking for some racing room, and Matt Kenseth just gets a bump from behind.
Brian Vickers had a fast car throughout the night. He gets taken out in our points later.
There's nowhere for these guys to go, and then Stephen Light comes in there in the 90 car, makes contact with Matt Kenseth.
Boy, Andy, when you're behind there as a driver and you're seeing all that smoke and debris and stuff flying.
Conway, here's what happened.
It's like Mike Wallace got into the back of Kevin here and just turned him the wrong way into the wall. Just about took out Mike Wallace's teammate there, J.J. Yaley.
3 wide going at the corner. You can see he drives down low to 37, comes across his bow, almost takes out Steve Wallace. Steve gets past him. The 37 gets backed up in the wall. AJ. Now the same thing happens here with Menard, which just happened to Allmendinger earlier. He got arrow loose, getting at the corner, laying the right side up against the car. He laid his side against Stephen Wallace and got himself loose and spun.
3 wide entering the corner.
Looks like the 35 car of Bobby Hamilton Jr. got in the back of Brad. Looks like they were all slowing down pretty quickly.
Qualifying held earlier today. This is Marcus Ambrose, the affable Aussie who things didn't work out so well for during time trials today. He will start at the back in a backup car, and that is not all that's on his mind today. Mike Massaro has that story. With
Top of the screen here, watch what happens with the 6 car.
Boy, just what Rusty's talking about. David Reagan goes in the corner, green racetrack, not a lot of grip, and that car just slides right out from underneath him. That was a great point that Rusty made. Absolutely what happened.
See, there's nobody around him right now, and when you just not enough rubber on the track right now, the tire pressure's not built up. This happened.
Shuffles all throughout the pack, including, whoa, the 5 car, and contact with the 18 of Brad Coleman.
Yeah, it just looks like that. He just got clipped right in the right rear quarter panel, sent him head on in the wall with Brad Coleman, and that's a tough deal, man, right off the bat.
Hold your brakes.
You guys, I can't start the car where they do. I don't like a loose race car.
You take a look at this. Kelly Byers gets up behind McCready, and I don't believe there was any contact there. It looks like he just got him aero loose, and that's the most critical part of the corner. When you come off the turn and you got a guy packed behind you, it makes you very loose.
Well, I find it interesting that he spun out simply because of what he told me yesterday. He says, I just can't start the car as loose.
Driving the 0-1 for Johnny Davis Motorsports up across the racetrack. Hard hit for Eflin.
Now, Rusty, was that a tire going down? It looked like that car just went straight up the racetrack. No turn, no chance, no opportunity.
One here in the 33 car.
Oh, man.
See, Robbie Gordon.
Oh, man.
He got into the 33 car. You know, he says he did it on purpose. I really don't believe that, guys. That was a racing accident coming off of turn 4. And those corners for that helmet, that thing cost about $2,500. Don't do that. Oh, man, you don't do that. You don't do that. A lot of money in the helmet. Frustrations, I know, but go kick the high side of your house or something. Don't throw your helmet, man.
Well, then you might get a ride full-time for next year.
And you're exactly right, Doc. I spoke to Tony about his situation, and he said there's some things in the... Yeah, just lost it, Rusty. Doc, it looks like he came in the corner, and the car just slid sideways, turned around on him once again.
That's off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Different angle. Now watch the 14 trying to make the pass inside of the 47.
You can see the Cowles car just gets caught up in the left front corner of Kelly Byers and just can't get away from him. This track has got so much bank in the front straightaway, it drives the nose up at the track. We're talking 9 degrees of banking in the straightaways, 24 in the corners. And it's
top of your screen.
Once again, Rusty, all by himself. Another car all alone.
Kyle had a lot of damage on his car, and it really probably had his car not handled well anyway at that point. And he loses it off the cars. And it happened right in front of the leaders, too. I mean, the leaders were able to get through. Just impatience. Carl say, hey, I've been winning a race. Mike, you've stood out there in tires and got this track position. Get out of my way. And he's just mad.
Chain reaction behind him. The 25 of Johns gets tapped from behind. The 38, you see the damage on the front of Leffler, who's 4th in the points, by the way, here in the NASCAR Busch Series. Now the on.
Again, runs off down the corner. Brad Keselowski on the inside.
Okay, aero loose, guys. You hear me talking about it all the time. A lot of the viewers get sick of me talking about it, but that's what that was.
Absolutely.
He got down in there and got sideways and lost it before he got to the corner, got up into the 29 car of Scott Wimmer.
And in 2007. Now watch the 60 car down on the apron.
I mean, there just wasn't a whole lot of room there. I mean, Donnie was in the almost at the bottom of the racetrack, and Carl came in, and it just... Well, I tell you, I don't want to second guess a driver, but it seemed like Carl could have went high and got around Donnie Neuenberg. I know he wanted him to give up the spot, but he was there.
And watch the 5 car using pit road as an escape lane to get by on the inside. Here's Mike in the 7 car with the spin.
He just loops the car, gets into the wall hard here, and as he's coming down the racetrack, you see these guys coming behind. Kyle Busch actually on the apron. You see 17 of Matt Kenseth, Denny Hamlin, and watch Kyle Busch.
Wow.
It's legal to use pit road in this instance as long as they slow down to a reasonable speed once they get there.
Because watch the 88 and the 38.
Well, he gets that little wobble, Andy, and you can see Jason just lost it just a little bit.
He just needed a little bit more room in the 88 car. Brad Keselowski was just on the outside of him. Very unfortunate for Keselowski. He gets a lot of damage out of this. See these other guys doing a good job getting by. There goes Kyle Busch. We're riding with Kevin Conway right here. Almost looks like he may have gotten some contact from behind where that car wiggled. Lost control instantly.
Car Busch Series race today. Now watch how hard he hits.
Once again, just running along. That rear end gets light and it hooks. And that is a heck of an impact. Look at the rear end come off that racetrack. Man.
You talk about the risk versus the reward of running in the NASCAR Busch Series. The reward is how much you learn about the racetrack.
He's running for a championship in the Busch Series as well. But this is a young man who also is coming off of a broken wrist from earlier in the season. So he is beaten, banged up, and I'm get that off the racetrack.
Watch what happened here to the 88 car.
Oh, yeah, Yeah, he lost grip big time getting in the corner.
Hold the brake. That's on, Flint. Hold the brake, Brad.
Just amazes me.
Could have had a tire going down.
Yeah, if they go into the corner.
Caution number 10, a record-tying 10th caution. Right side of your screen.
Brian Dawson just dives under Todd Bodine in a 0-3 car and loses the car. Slides up into the safer barrier.
Yep, nose tucked toward the apron. The rear end got a little light and came right around on him. Like I was saying, Brad said it takes him 6, 8, 9 laps to get those tires good and warm. He gets real comfortable once he's got a lot of grip. But until he gets there.
Out, we call it. Suspension really in tough.
Oh, that's definitely a blown tire. See all these parts flying out from under it. Brake rotors, all these sparks there. It's these fenders, but he can probably keep going. He just loses the car, looks like, here between 3 and 4.
So he just got up high in the racetrack, Andy. He just
That's
got up in that
turn 2.
turdy part of the racetrack off at turn 2 and just spun that car out. And man, he's tore that thing up big time. The whole back of the car's mashed up on it. And if McMurray can ever clear the traffic, he's got a real fast car.
Whoa. Up against the wall, heavy contact for McMurray. Car sliding sideways a couple.
Left rear and left front. You all right, Jamie?
Mike gets a little tap by the 5 car. The 5 car comes down, and Jamie tries to get down underneath the 38 car, just no room. Spins it out.
Byers misses him. Rudeman misses him. Bobby Labonte goes by on the high side.
Clear high, all clear. Clear about 3 on your, clear about 3 back to the 16.
Whoa, Jimmy Johnson, Kansas involved.
Carl Edwards involved. 3 of the chasers hard impact with Carl Edwards.
Edwards heavy contact, the 11 car. The record-breaking effort tonight for trouble in the turns.
Looks like Jimmy Johnson's car at 48 just turned around. Carl Edwards tried to avoid it, got down into that car, 11 car of Jason Keller.
48 looks like you're exactly right. Just flat got loose. Then the chain reaction starts. And when it starts here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, it's hard to get out of it. Look at all that smoke. Drivers are trying to drive through that smoke. They got no vision. They just keep piling up in each other.
See what happens with him here on the bottom of the racetrack. Remember, no tires.
He just loses the car right there on the bottom of the racetrack, and Biff will know where to go. Jeff Burton does a great job to miss this.
So does Dale Earnhardt Jr. They come down. Rudeman comes down in the grass area above them. Keselowski.
Let's take a look at this again. On fire.
Wow.
I saw a big fireball as he went in that corner. This axle is probably laying on the racetrack somewhere. It's a great big piece of steel, a steel bar.
Stuck there, can't get out. Let's take a look at this.
Looked like he was all on his own.
Yeah, what happens is you come out at 4, your car's very light. You're under throttle. You turn the car with the throttle here. And he gave a little bit too much throttle. I'm not sure if he had any help.
Maybe. I don't know. From that angle, it looked like it could have been. But
you usually do.
yeah, usually.
Fast car. Looks like he's going to get past him pretty quickly. Pretty slick up there. Oh, big wreck in the back straightaway.
That's the 14 again of Kyle Krizeloff involved. So that's his second deal of the day. You can see the 71. He's going to get turned. Here we go.
Man, it's all over us. Hold on to it. They're still coming. Yellow's out.
Ron Young.
Come around now.
We're just going to see the tail end of it, and he's already into the spin there, and there is the contact. So a tough break for the 18-year-old, but another page of history. Well, he's already turning right there, guys.
Here he is. He's on the gas. That's right. He was loose, and he just come there, and he lost some grip, and next thing you know, he's in the grass.
And Chase Miller had nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
Yeah, he had nowhere to go. The 9 car at Chase Miller.
Tail end of it. Yep, he gets a little help right there, and it's the 77 car.
You know, I really don't think Brandon Miller meant that in purpose. Looks like he got in the corner so deep.
The team. Take another look. Looks like he got a little help.
They were kind of 3 wide. You saw Tim McCready right there in the middle of that. They all got sideways and lost, and Brad Coleman got in the side of Brad Baker, and on around they go.
Yeah, and how much?
You know, the way these guys, 3 wide, and that guy in the middle got stuck in the middle.
71. That's Ron Young, the 49 of Brian Keselowski, and then off to the left of that is where Carl gets swept up with it. Here we go, on board with Carl.
He's seen it happening. He was slowing down.
Oh my, hello.
He got hit in the left rear.
Yeah, he had nowhere to go. Sterling Marlin got turned. Take another look at it here.
Well, they stayed on him, and the whole time Carl slowed.
This whole freight train of incidents.
Boy, you see the 25 car slide up the racetrack. Richard Johns just drove in real deep trying to slow it up. Slows up a little too quick and gets hit in the back. And the whole thing happens, and here we go again.
Well, another look.
Cale Gale gets in the back of Mike Wallace, spins him. See Brad Keselowski going around, and now it's just solid, blocking the track with smoke.
Franchitti made it through, and there is Carl. Carl, I think, just did an evasive move, just trying to keep from getting. Remember when he pitted earlier, and we all questioned whether that was a good move? Oh, there we go around again.
Stand behind, just still inside. Stand behind, caution down, caution down. You got him. Well, yeah, I'm all right. What in the hell was...
Actually hit the ripple strips down there, Randy, and spun the car, and was really closing her in the back of Chase Miller in the 9 car, and just locked the brakes up and also hit that apron and spun himself. And they're all stacking up, Randy, just like you said, all day long.
That's right. Miller 3 and 4. It's accordion, boy.
Yeah, it looked like Ron Young in the 71 was a little slower than East expected. 20 or more cautions, I'm sorry.
And it's another case of a car just getting in the corner too deep. You see the 49 car of Brian Keselowski just locked the left front wheel up, couldn't get slowed down, and got in the back of Steven. Now, he definitely got some contact from Jeff Burton, and that's totally unlike Jeff Burton to do anything like that. And I'll guarantee you Jeff didn't mean that. Just the closure rate was there, and because Jeff Burton is one clean race car driver, just got in a tight position there.
Looks like he may have just miscalculated just a smidgen as they went in that corner, but you know Jeff Burton didn't do that on purpose.
Folks, last time we had a Busch race, we had 25-3 behind the 12 as they go into 4, and the 12 just gets loose.
Yeah, aerodynamically just made him a little bit aero loose, and Sam spun the car, but did a great job keeping it under control. Now look, he lets off the brake right now, lets it roll forward, and doesn't spin the car out. But Andy, the only thing he's got wrong with that car is a little deep.
Not sure exactly what happened here. It looks like maybe he got some contact, the 72 car DJ Kennington.
Man,
Car gets right into it too.
Andy, looks like he had contact on the entry of the corner, and boy, that's a real volatile part of the corner. You're running over 160 miles an hour there, and if you get tapped on entry, it's a big crash, and obviously that's what's happened here.
Wow, look at that.
Wow.
I mean, we could see the hole underneath of that car there. That thing was awful high. Thank God again for the soft walls. We've talked about this.
Looks like got a little help from behind coming off the corner.
Andy, it looks like, though, as he went by there, that shot, I can barely see some damage on the right front fender of the 16 car. Looks like it's tucked under pretty hard, so they're going to have to get down pit road and get that fixed, because that's really going to kill the aerodynamics.
So the 12's already sideways as he comes through here. I don't know if he spun by himself, but he got hard contact from the 13.
Looks like he got the left front tire, Andy, down on the apron. It kind of made the car real loose in that area, and that is one tough corner to hold on to when you get it loose. Once it starts getting loose, you're in trouble.
Outside, clear.
Yeah, you can clearly see that Sam was not around.
For the young driver here in turn 4, top of your screen.
It's like he just got loose there, spun around. Hard to see if he anybody touched him or if he had any contact.
But again, there's the 41 car and the 10 of Brian Vickers.
This is something that commonly happens here at this racetrack. You get in the corner so deep, then you get up alongside somebody and you just lose the car and slide up into them.
Well, the one thing I see here, these are teammates in the Cup Series, and well, I don't know why they're roughing each other up like that.
Owners Championship today. Green flag, just 63 laps to go. Trouble. Biffle involved, McMurray involved. And Stephen Wallace up across the racetrack. He is
you get a better view than I do.
Not what you want right there.
He's trying to stay in front of the 14 car, and he gets turned from behind by Crisolo. Certainly by Keselowski.
Oh my gosh, that was an unbelievable job of spin. Happens when it's all over. Piled up at the start-finish line.
See Reagan involved there with the 30. It was David Reagan that got Stanton Barrett as he was trying to slow up.
Yeah, those guys were just trying to avoid this wreck and ended up getting smack in the middle of it.
Right along with David Reagan, and watch what he saw.
See, he just gets up too high right there and loses the car getting in the corner.
Yeah, you heard Bobby a little bit on his radio say, I just lost it, and that's what happened. He was high on the racetrack. He just got out from underneath of him and into the wall. I hate to see that this early.
That's why they have Patrick Carpentier in this race, is to get experience, get laps. This is not the kind of experience he's looking for, but he has to learn how to race these cars in close quarters like this, and he just got that firsthand right there.
In fairness to him, it's only his third ever NASCAR Busch Series start. He set on the pole and finished second at Montreal. So the
11 car from the damage that he had with Patrick Carpentier, looks like Morgan may have gotten into that debris.
Well, he definitely got in that debris, Andy. I mean, that thing went flying through there, and all that. It looks like he's got a right rear flat on Morgan Shepherd's car. And I don't know what that was that flew off underneath that 11 car, but it was a ton of something.
side, Yaley in the middle, and John's up high.
Boy, it looks like the one car just gets up in the left rear quarter panel, the 24 at John's, and, you know, gets a little tap in the left rear, and that's all it takes when you're running close to 180 miles an hour, and that's what they're running.
And look, that's the same spot Bobby Labonte just lost it all by himself, so that track must be a little bit slick on that entry point of getting into turn 3.
See what happened to Dario here in the corner. Up across the racetrack.
That thing just took off. Looked like maybe had a tire go down or something.
That was really unusual. I mean, just shot straight in the wall right in front of Sam Hornish.
Well, you can see the spring just bounding out of the back of the car right in front of Sam, and he comes down in our ESPN Dish Tech Center. Whoa, trouble, our in-race reporter. And speaking of Dish, here comes the Ford of Matt Kinza spinning around twice, 2 360s. And didn't hit a thing. Got some debris off one of the tires there, and he's in the middle of the track. And
corner there, and then he gets out of the groove, and then when that happened, the back end broke loose, and he got in the wall.
Oh, speaking of back ends breaking loose, there's the 10 car. Whoa, and Hamlin just keeps from tagging him.
Didn't hit anything. Only tires.
Oh, man.
See the 0-3 way up on the racetrack. Almost the same thing that happened to Dave Blaney.
Well, Andy, we've seen this many times, and look at Hornish, nowhere to go. Bam. Oh, you got to
get the worst of that one.
It's a sick feeling, you know. You just need more on pit road, and this is a very narrow, slick pit road. He goes to turn it and loses it right at the entry of pit road. And we have seen this a lot in different types of racing. The Indy cars have spun out here many times.